This is subtraction, making it easy enough to do in your head. What we'd like to do first is define subtraction. First, here's what subtraction is not. Subtraction has been commonly known as something being taken away from something else. And this is not how to define subtraction. What? What you say? How can that be? Well, let's look at what subtraction is. Subtraction really is the distance between things. Let's take a look at what that means. See, if you look at subtraction, it looks at how far apart things are. So we want to see if there are some patterns to subtraction that we could find. If you look at each of these, 15 minus 10 equals 5. 10 minus 5 equals 5. And 25 minus 5 equals 5. What do you notice about all three examples? Well, they all equal 5. I always tell people it's like the analogy of as we get older. Let's say that I'm 5 years older than you are. And when I'm 10 and you're 5, I'm 5 years older than you. When I make it to 15 and you're 10, I'm still 5 years older than you. Now I'm at 25 and you're 20, and yet I'm still 5 years older than you. And if someone said, how much older am I than you? It's very simple. It's still going to be a subtraction problem. And every time the answer is going to be the same, 5 years, because we are literally 5 years apart, or the distance between our ages is 5 years. Now, how could you use that in subtraction so that it really is easy enough to do in your head? Well, let's take a look. We want to use a method for subtracting that's been used in England for years. And if you stop and ask Mom and Dad, they probably use the same method when they go to the grocery store. But let's first look and see if you can do these problems quickly and in your head. Remember, this is easy and enough to do in your head. Here's the first one. 14 minus 10. What did you get? Did you get 4? 18 minus 10 is 8. 214 minus 200 is 14. And 307 minus 300 is 7. 35 minus 30 is 5, and 49 minus 40 is 9. Now, by the time I got done saying all of that, you probably had all the answers done, and you can do them quickly. Pretty easy, right? Let's see how you can make a problem, any subtraction problem, look this simple. So remember, as you learned, and if you haven't seen this before, I'll tell you now, all numbers want to be a 10. It's the big secret to math, and it's knowing what numbers like and what they want to be, and they all want to be 10s. Why? Well, it's very simple. You can count by 10s. You have 10 fingers. You've got 10 toes. It's a lot easier to count by 10s than it is to count by, let's say, 8s or 7s. That all numbers do want to be 10s. And what we want to do is help numbers get to their next 10. Now, if you notice, what made all those problems so easy on the screen before? Well, let's look back. Very simple. All of the bottom numbers ended in zeros or some kind of a 10 or 100. You know, what happens to 10s once they become 10s? Well, the next thing they want to be, of course, is 100, and then 1,000, and then 10,000s and 100,000s and so on. But let's concentrate now on subtracting. What made these so simple was that these numbers wanted to be 10s. So let's take a look at this now. Here's the problem that is 24 minus 17. That's how the problem starts. And it's very simple. I'm going to take the 17 and help the 17 become its next 10. How many more does 17 need to become a 10? Just 3. Remember, if I do something to the bottom number, I'm going to have to do the same thing to the top number. The question is this: which number do I make the next 10? Well, the number that was being subtracted, the 17. And how did we bring it to the next 10? We added 3. We have this little rule in math, as well as in life: mutual respect. You treat others as you wish to be treated yourself. So if we add 3 to one number in a subtraction problem, we must also do the same thing to the other number as well. So here's our example. Let's take a look at this. 31 minus 18 is the problem. 31 minus 18 is the problem. Now I can't do 1 minus 8. So what I'm going to do is make that 18 get to its next 10, because I'm just trying to find out how far apart is 18 to 31. What's the distance? So very simply, I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to add it to the 18, because that will get it to its next 10. And mutual respect says whatever I do to the bottom number, I'm going to have to do to the top number as well. So I'll add 2 to 31. Now I have 33 minus 20, and you can do that quickly and easily in your head, and you can see that the answer is 13. That's as simple as it is. Take that bottom number, get it to its next 10, and then you can do the subtraction. Now, you only do this method when the bottom number is bigger than the top number. If the top number is bigger, you can already count up from that bottom number up to the top, and that will give you your answer. Let's take a look again. Here's 45 minus 18. And if you notice, we've added 2 to both numbers. Why? Well, because we want to help 18 become its next 10, which would take it to 20. We're going to add 2 to the 45 for mutual respect to, and whatever you see to one number, we're going to do to the other number as well. We add 2 to both numbers, and now we have 47 minus 20, which is 27. Now let's take a look what happens if the numbers are up into the hundreds. Can we continue to do this? Absolutely. Here's the problem, 235 minus 189. We're going to take 189, get it to its next 10. See, we had 1, and now we have 190. So the 1s are okay, but now the 10s place are going to go to the next 100, and all we need to do is add another 10, and we've literally added 1 and a 10 to 189, which brings it up to 200. You could do that in your head and say, I added 11. 1 and 10 and 11. I added 11 to that number, brought it up to 200. I'm going to add a 1 to make 235 go to 236. I'm going to add 10 more to make it go to 246. And look what I've got. Subtraction problem now is 246 minus 200, which is quickly, easily done in our head, is 46. We're going to give you some practice problems now. You can actually go and practice these problems, and on the next screen you're also going to see some practice problems that involve the hundreds place. You can stop the DVD here, go and then work those problems out, then use your solution guide to check your work, and when you're done, come back to the DVD.